So the single most important skill when you're working with AI and large language models in particular is context management. And I would say 90 to 95% of people who use AI still don't really know how to use it properly. I run some AI adoption workshops over at Meta, and even some of the most technical people still get it wrong. Without a proper understanding of context management, you end up wasting a lot of tokens and you don't get the best results. And that applies whether you're working on coding tasks, whether you're just chatting with your chatbot, brainstorming, and especially if you're using something like OpenClaw. So in this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about context and how to use it effectively. I'm going to give you a few tips that you can start using today and start seeing immediate results. And by the end of this video, you will have a full understanding of context and be able to work with it like a pro. I want to start by talking about what context is. So you might hear terms like 200K context window size, 1 million context window size, and this refers to the number of tokens that a context window allows. So if you're chatting with a chatbot, your context window is basically your entire chat. So every message you send, every message you receive, that all becomes part of the context. And one token is approximately one word, although the actual number is closer to 100 tokens per 75 words. And so for a 200K context window, that's about 500 pages in a book. For a 1 million size context window, it's about 2,500 pages. So this context window size basically is the maximum number of words that you can have within your chat. One thing I want to clarify right off the bat, and a lot of people have misconceptions about this, is that as you're chatting with a chatbot and you start sending messages and you start getting responses, every time you send a message, the entire thing gets sent over to the large language model to compute. So when you send user message number 4, you're sending this entire thing and this becomes your context. So this becomes important when we start talking about context rot. So there's this very famous research paper about context rot, and it evaluated the performance of various different large language models. And the result was basically as the number of tokens increases, the performance of the LLM got predictably worse. So the test that they ran was something called needle in a haystack test. So the test was basically you give the LLM a large block of text and you ask it a question. Now there's a single needle, which is the correct answer to the question, and there's a bunch of distractor or irrelevant content. So in this example, what was the best writing advice I got from my college classmate? The correct answer here is the best writing advice I got from my college classmate was to write every week. But as you add different distractors, so this is the best writing tip I received from my college professor, which is clearly not my college classmate. As you increase the number of distractors and also just the amount of irrelevant content, the LLM got predictably worse at answering the question. So for some of you who might be more technical and up to date, Anthropic did release a new update to their 1 million context window that largely solves a lot of the needle in a haystack problems. So even as the context grows, the LLM is still very good at finding needles in the haystack. But they did run some follow-up research and found that even though the upgraded context window and capabilities allowed even 1 million context windows to be good at this task, it's still degraded in performance when it came to things like task execution. So if you have like a 1 million context window size and you give some instructions, some patterns to follow at the beginning, as the context increases, let's say at like 400, 600,000 tokens, the chances that it'll stick to its instructions becomes, again, predictably worse. So this idea of context rot applies no matter how big the context size is, and just increasing the overall context window does not ever really solve this problem. And you can kind of intuit this as a person, right? When you have a whole bunch of random thoughts, random instructions, just a whole bunch of stuff in your head, obviously you're not going to be able to focus on the task at hand and do well at that task. And same thing for LLMs. So this is something to really keep in mind when it comes to context, is that you want to have your context be as focused as possible to the task that you're working on. So I want to give an example of what people might do when they're working on coding tasks with like Claude Code. And what I see often is that, let's say you want to build a feature for your new app, and you start a session with Claude Code and you say, build me feature X. So what it'll start doing is it'll start doing some research, it'll think through the feature, and it might ask you some clarifying questions. You respond to those questions, it does some more research, more thinking, planning, and then it comes up with an implementation plan. So all of this becomes your context window. And then the number one mistake here is that you start implementing in that same context window. So if we think about this with respect to context rot, now you have all of this distracting content. Some of it is applicable, but a lot of it is just the LLM asking you clarifying questions and doing research. So the best way to handle this and the general principle to follow when it comes to context is have a singular focus for each of your sessions. And as soon as you want to switch tasks or switch focus, start a brand new chat. So instead of doing start implementation here, you say output plan to MD file. And then Claude will now create a separate, let's just call this plan.md. And then you start a new session here and you say, based on plan.md, implement my feature. So now you have a fresh context window and you pull in just the relevant information for Claude to start working on your feature. So you get rid of all of this excess planning and you go straight into a focused session. Then not only does this save on token costs, because again, as Claude is building out the feature, every time it does a tool call, every time it reads a file, it's sending the entire context over. So that's a lot of wasted tokens. Now, if you don't care about tokens, if you're on a max subscription plan, it's still bad for the environment. And again, you do not get the best results. So this is something that you can start using today. Now, I gave an example with coding, but this is also applicable if you're like just asking general questions or brainstorming with Claude. Anytime you want to switch a topic, just start a new session. It saves on the token costs and it gives the LLM a much more focused context to work with. So now I want to frame this using OpenClaw as an example. So most people who use OpenClaw set it up in a similar way, which is they start by using something like Telegram and they message their OpenClaw instance and everything goes into this main chat, right? So if you wanted to set up like a cron job, if you wanted to clean up your email, they do everything within the same session. Now, if you're using an API key, which is kind of like the proper way to use it these days, the token costs start adding up really, really quickly. And even though Anthropic and OpenAI both have caching mechanisms, every message still incurs a 10% cost per message for every single response. So even with the caching, if you start having a session with like 600,000 tokens, the costs still start adding up dramatically. So the way to get around this is if you're operating within the gateway, you can do something like /new, and this will create a new session for you. If you're messaging it through Telegram, just tell your OpenClaw that you want to start a new session. Now, the obvious problem with that is you lose context of everything that you were working on previously. And the way that I've gotten around it personally is I've built out this mission control. And this basically allows me to start new sessions and keep the history of each session, similar to how you have separate conversations in something like ChatGPT or Claude, right? So I have a separate chat for things I want to improve in my mission control. I have things for startup, things for YouTube. If you're interested in something like this, I will create a separate video on just how you can build something like this for yourself. But this allows you to basically have very, very focused sessions and also not lose history of your session, which is a major problem for just the basic OpenClaw interface. So if you just keep this one idea in mind, that is one session, one focus, one topic, starting new sessions whenever possible, you'll start to see much better results. You'll save a lot of money on token costs, and you will be way ahead of the curve already. Again, I think this is probably the most important skill when it comes to working with large language models. I don't see it ever really going away. No matter how big the context windows get, it's always important to manage exactly what you're putting into the context. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.